Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I am here with a wig review for you. I am here to show you Locklan by Estetica. And I have Locklan in the color R30 2826. Locklan is a brand new release for fall 2021 and she just arrived yesterday. So I am so excited to show this piece to you. Before we get started though, I would like to thank Wig Studio One for sending Locklan to me so that I could show her to all of you. I am a guest reviewer for them. I get to do a review about once a month, maybe a little less than that, and show different wigs, and I'm so thrilled to partner with them. Please show Wig Studio One some love. They spend a lot of money every single month providing wigs to their reviewers, both regular reviewers and guest reviewers, to get more information out to all of us as wig wearers. And I, for one, am so grateful for all of the reviews that are out there. And this does not come cheap. So I just want to thank out loud Wig Studio One, and I hope you will too. Please go to their website, wigstudio1.com. They're a great retailer. It is the first place I bought my first helper hair, and I continue to be a customer of theirs and purchase wigs from them. I also want to tell you about their awesome Facebook group. It's called Wig Studio One Wig and Topper Support Group. It is a fantastic support for us wig wearers. If you are not on Facebook and you're struggling with the wig journey, I really recommend that you reconsider and maybe create an account and just get on there for a period of time to get the help that you need, because I will tell you, getting that support from your wig sisters, and there's so many of them in that group, is going to be invaluable in helping you as you learn about wigs and learn about what styles work for you. So please consider checking out Wig Studio One on Facebook. All right, you guys, we're going to talk all about Locklan in this video. I'm going to show you Locklan inside and outside, the color inside and outside, and I'm going to talk a little bit about styling. So if you're curious about this incredibly long, beautiful head of hair, then please stick around for the rest of this video so we can talk everything Locklan. Locklan is a awesome, straight, long, no poof, no permatease hairstyle. And I know I have some wig sisters out there who are going to love the fact that this one really has no permatease or poof. Before we talk too much about that though, let me show you Locklan from all sides. And what I'd like you to notice, look how long she is. She is extremely long and straight, but there are some very subtle layers. So let's just take a look at all of that. Alright, so I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera. You won't see all the length, but I really want you to be able to see the fibers and the color. So let's talk about R30 2826. If you're here just for the color, I will put some timestamps in the description on my channel, not the Wig Studio One channel, so that you're able to skip ahead to the outside look. So I will get outside and show you this really beautiful color outside. But look at this color. So what this is a light auburn. So we have a 30, which is the base color. That's a medium auburn. And a 28, getting a little bit into the Irish red. And the 26 is more like a strawberry blonde. So you have a really light, beautiful auburn. I would consider this not blonde, but auburn. But I will caution my wig sisters who are typically wearing darker brunettes, this one will feel very light too if you're not used to light browns and light colors. It sure did to me when I first was experimenting with this color. It does come in a rooted version, and I personally prefer the rooted version because I am a dark brunette naturally. So keep that in mind, but it is just gorgeous. It has such beautiful blending and it's not streaky or stripy. It does have a little bit of lightness right around the face, but it is just a great blending of a lot of different kind of auburn reddish tones. I'll take this off and show you the color a little bit more when I show you the cap, and then we will of course get outside so you can see this color outside. Let me give you a caution whenever you watch these reviews. Most of us wig reviewers do have a lot of lighting on us. I personally have 2 lights on the sides and 1 ring light in front. What that does is it really brightens up the space and allows you to see with great detail, but it also sometimes makes the colors look a little bit shinier or brighter. So always try to get a look outside and inside whenever you can, and with multiple reviewers when you're really trying to decide on a color. All right, let's talk about Locklan. Locklan is, you know guys, okay, let me break this down for you. I don't really wear long wigs. I get so many compliments when I put a long wig on. People are constantly telling me that I should wear long wigs, but for whatever reason, they don't feel like me, probably because I was never able to grow my hair long. But if I were to wear a long wig, and let me tell you, I am strongly considering wearing one with this one, then I would want it to be a little bit more lightweight and not really have a lot of permatease, because I'm just not used to having this much hair. Locklan checks all those boxes. She has no permatease. I mean, if there may be, and there probably is, a little bit of crimpy fibers, but you can't feel them, and there's no poof, not even on the top. This one does have a full mono top, so you are able to part Locklan anywhere that you want on the top, and also a nice hair density. This is sort of a light to medium, more on the light side hair density. It's not so light that it feels sparse or, you know, maybe gives you reminders of your thinning hair if your hair has been thinning. But it's light enough that you don't feel weighed down by the hair. It doesn't feel so heavy and so overwhelming. And it's not really that hot. You know, I do tend to overheat just all the time anyway, but especially with wigs that lay on my neck, I try to avoid wigs that cover my neck because I do get so hot all the time. But I'm finding this one quite comfortable. I mean, really, it feels great. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I already did the styling segment of this video because I really struggle to do styling here in my filming room and on camera because I got some joint issues, and so I did that in my bathroom separately, and I showed it with a baseball cap. It is the perfect density for wearing hats because it's not poofy and it looks fabulous. I just love it. So keep that in mind. The other thing I like is this front. So they've got a little bit of shorter face framing layers in the front. And that I find to be extremely flattering, and I think it's really helpful to have that. Now, if you want to cut a full bang in Locklan, you absolutely 100% can. There's going to be no issue cutting a bang. You can see how long this part is. I can't see you, but you can see that. And so there'll be no issue cutting a bang. What I will say though is she has such a fantastic lace front, which I'm going to show you right now. And so cutting a bang means you don't get to show off this incredible lace front. Let me lift it for you and then drop it back down so you can see. When I see people do that on video, it really gives you a sense of how good that lace front is when you see it melt and then you don't see any of that knotting. This light color really helps with that because I think just getting close like that and coming back here just threw all of my lighting off. Did you notice that? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But if it did, I apologize. I'm not a techie person and I don't know this whole camera stuff. But anyway, let's get back to the lace front. This light color is so awesome because you aren't going to see the knotting, and I think that's fantastic. I will give you a couple of cautions because of her length. Number one, you are going to want to carry a wide tooth comb with you everywhere. If you are not a long wig experience, if you don't have a lot of experience wearing long wigs, then please note that you are going to deal with tangling with this one. No, I don't think this one will give you any more problem than any other long wig, but because she's long and because Estetica's fibers are sort of a light denier, they're not super thick and hardy like maybe a Noriko wig is, they do tend to tangle. I personally think they tangle a little bit more than a Noriko because of the lightness of the fiber. That said, I think a lot of you are going to really like the lightness of these fibers, especially in a wig of this length. And so it's that trade-off, and I tell you this in all my videos, everything has a trade-off in life. Wig wearing is no different. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is have some sort of a product on hand that you can use to spray on the nape of the wig. When wigs are longer and they rub on your clothing a lot, which this one is going to do constantly as you're moving around throughout your day, you will find that you will get a lot worse tangling at the nape because of that friction. And I really love this product, the Simply Stylin', but there's so many products out there that you can use to help with that. I would just encourage you to find something that you really like, you know, that has the smell you're looking for or no smell. I think this comes in both a scented, which I love the scent of this one, and an unscented version. But whatever works best for you, you're going to want to make sure you spray that nape down every single time you wear it, because that will help with the tangling and the friction. Let's talk about the monofilament, and then I will take her off for you guys. So this one can be parted anywhere. I sort of have her a little bit left of center because that's sort of where she wanted to part. But all you have to do to change a part is take a wide tooth comb and just kind of sort of comb in, you know, split the hairs wherever you want. Now, some wigs are going to repart really easily, and other wigs you're going to struggle. If you find, and I do find Locklan doesn't really want to change her part very easily. If you find that you have a struggle like this one, and she just wants to keep going back to the part she came with, then you're going to do a couple of things. You're going to get a spray bottle of water and you're going to want to spray the fibers down on top. Now, normally you don't comb through a wig when it's wet because you don't want to stretch out the fibers. But in this case, when the top is damp, you can take that wide tooth comb and gently start working those fibers the other direction. So what I'm doing right now is and she's not even wet, but I'm taking my fingers and I'm gently pulling, and I'm using sort of the heat of my hands and the friction to start reworking those knots. I will explain to you in a second what happens with a monofilament and why it might cause issues in reparting in the beginning. So let's take a look at this cap. This side was stuck in my earring. Okay, so much hair to deal with. It's really pretty though. Okay, so this cap has the monofilament top. That means you can part it anywhere. This also means everything up here has been hand tied into the cap, whereas you've got wefting in the back and that's done by a machine. A human hand tied every single one of these fibers into the cap. That means a couple of things. Number one, you might get a little bit of discrepancy in that face framing fringe, sort of the length and all of that, because this was a large part of this was handmade, and you know, handmade, it means that it's harder to get exact consistency. But what this also means is that the fibers that are all in here will move more naturally than the fibers in the back, because these are limited, moving all together on the weft and pretty much moving up and down, but they can't really move all around. A knot can move 360 degrees, well, it can't move in, so whatever, 180 degrees or whatever that is on the axis of where it's tied. And so you can get these fibers to really move naturally. What you're trying to do with what I was just showing you is to shift that knot a little bit to get it to move a different direction. So it's sort of stuck going one way, and you're just slowly kind of shifting that knot, moving it around, loosening it up a little bit so that you can move those fibers. So it will change for you, it just might take a little bit of effort. And then you've got ear tabs that have a ton of hair sewn in on them, and they're open. That means that if you wear glasses and these ear tabs come low on you, I'll show you where they fit on me. then you can stick the glasses arm through the hole in the ear tab versus under the ear tab, which can be convenient. And also they're a little bit cooler. And then you've got your open extended nape. This is a really typical Estetica nape with hook adjusters. All the openness helps with keeping the wig a little bit cooler. It just gives more airflow. And if you run hot like I do, you're sure going to appreciate that. You're going to want as much extra coolness as you can get. All right, so before I put her back on, because I've been messing with her, I'm just going to comb through her just a little bit. Again, wigs of this length are going to require being combed many times a day. Please set your expectations reasonably when you get wigs, because they're all going to have a little bit of different quirks, and once you learn how to deal with them, you'll be a lot happier of a wig wearer. All right, so let me put her back on for you guys. And then I'm going to show you how she fits me. So I do find Estetica wigs to run just a little bit generous. I do tend to have to cinch in the adjusters a little bit on Estetica wigs, and my circumference is 22. So I'm a solid average in my circumference. And so if you are a larger circumference, I have heard from many wig sisters who are 23 inches and even bigger who can wear Estetica wigs. So keep that in mind. If you're smaller, then you'll really have to cinch it in. But your other measurements, the over the top of your head measurements, also matter. And so if you are pretty petite there, then you might find that Estetica caps, you get a little bit of extra room in your caps on Estetica, which I do. There's ways to sew wefts together to make them work though. But let me show you the coverage. I get such great coverage with this brand because of how the cap fits me. So the ear tabs go right here, and the top of my ear is right there. So it's slightly above the ear tab. That is the coverage that I prefer. I like when the ear tabs are slightly lower than the top of my ear and then in front of it so they don't lay on my ears. What that means is I get really good coverage all throughout here. So you really can't see my bio hair, which in some wigs you can see this little bit of bio hair there because it's kind of a low hairline. You really don't see that much with Estetica wigs. I really appreciate that kind of coverage. I will also tell you that this lace front is fairly shallow. So while you have a lot of flexibility because it's a full monotop, the lace front itself, and I think I might have pulled this back a little, is a little shallow, so it only goes from here to here. Some lace fronts will go like down to here. So what that means, and I talk about it a little bit in my styling segment, is that if you're going to be pulling the front up at all, into clips, into barrettes, bobby pins, whatever it is, a headband, you're just going to want to make sure that you don't go beyond that part and just leave some of the hair on the sides down so that you don't wind up seeing the transition. Not a big deal, just keep that in mind. But otherwise, the fit is great. I think she is just beautiful. I mean, really has a lot going for her and some fantastic styling options. So stick around. I'm going to get to the styling. I'm going to get to the out of the box, but I'll tell you guys, she looked just like this out of the box. I didn't really have to do anything at all to her. Real common with no permatease long wigs. And I will show you this color outside. Please let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, please thank Wig Studio One for providing this wig for review, and please subscribe to both my channel and their channel so that you don't miss any videos. Alright, let's get on to the next segment. Alright everybody, so just really quick, I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas for styling. I am horrible at styling on video. I would love to be better at it, but I have so much trouble with my fingers and my shoulders, just like range of motion and things that I just can't. I'm not Taz. I wish I could do as good of a job as Taz, but I can't. So we'll just do what we can, and I'll give you some ideas. So first of all, the density on this piece is so awesome for things like baseball caps. So let me just grab this and put this on. I'll tell you guys, I really want to be able to wear baseball caps with wigs again because I do like wearing baseball caps, but most of the time I struggle with it being too thick and then too heavy in the front, and it just looks fake to me when it's so heavy in the front. But this one is really working for me. It's just the right density, it's not too thick, and if I just pull a little bit of this hair sort of back so there's not as much up front, it actually looks really, really good. So a baseball cap is great. And then on top of that, if you want to, you can pull it back in like a low pony. And I really love that it's got a few shorter layers in the front. Well, I didn't grab one of the shorter ones there, but because then you can pull a little bit of hair forward and it looks so realistic. You can also, if you're going to do this a lot, you can actually trim a little bit so that that works. So let's see. Now I don't know, I'd have maybe do some arranging on the bottom, but then you're able to wear a baseball cap, and you could braid this instead. I can barely get my arms back here to do this due to arthritis issues. So I'd have to braid it off my head, but I could totally see that being a really, really cute look. And so something else that I think is so cute with a sort of a long, straight style like this, kind of a 70s vibe, but you can take some of the front pieces here and you can just do some twists, and then you can clip them back. And you can take some of these pressure clips. That might have been a little bit too thick of a piece. Might not hold it. But you can do one on each side. And all I'm doing is just twisting and then pulling it back. Something like that. And then you just sort of arrange this so that this comes down. What I didn't mention in the other part of the video is this lace front is only here to here. So sometimes you'll get like temple to temple lace fronts. This one is not. It's a little bit shorter. It gives you a little bit less styling to work with, but as long as you pull this down, you'll never see that. So another great option. Something else that you might want to consider, if you need more poof on the top, which you're not getting with this one because there's just no permatease at all, then what you can do is you can, and I do like a little bit of lift in the front personally. I think that helps balance out my longish face. I just pulled it up a little bit off of me. But if you just kind of adjust that front, then you can take a claw clip, any kind of a claw clip. Let's see if I can squeeze this with my uncooperative thumbs. But then you can, that one, I probably would have grabbed a little bit more hair than I did, but then you can just make a little poof in the front, and then at least you get a little bit of lift. You can do, you know, like a little space bun on the top. You can do some pigtails or some side braids. There's just a lot of options. You can even do a messy updo with this one if you're at all good with wigs. And you can grab, just, you know, leave some down, some up, and, you know, do some twisting. Obviously do the arranging so that you can't see the back, but then get a claw clip in there, and then with this length of hair, it can spill down around the claw clip and look really, really cute. So I definitely think if you're longing for something that can give you some different updo potential, this one is a really great one for that. So hopefully you got some ideas. Thanks for watching this part. All right, we are outside with the color R30 2826. I'll get in the sun for you in just a second. So we're just in the shade of the house right now. It is a great color. Definitely a favorite in the light auburns. It's just so natural looking, nice and rich. Can you guys hear my dogs? They're doing a little wrestling right next to me down at my feet. Oh, they just finished. All right, we're not here for that. Focus. Okay, so like I mentioned in the video, I'm gonna be looking up in the sun a little bit. This is not the rooted version. So you see there's no rooting. I prefer the rooted version, but if you can't get the rooted version, this is really easy to root with some Copic markers, furniture markers. Some people will use permanent markers. Personally, I think Copic markers work the best and have the most variety of color. So don't fret. If you love this color, but you want just a little bit more darkness, you can easily add that yourself. And I do show that in a couple of videos. All right, everybody, this is, I think this outside in the sun is such a helpful piece of the video. I want to make sure I linger enough. Okay, that's probably good enough. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right, everyone, I am here to do the out of the box for Locklan. She just came like 15 minutes ago. Super excited to put this one on for you guys. All right, so I've already tried her on. I always try them on, even I don't do anything. I mean, I haven't done anything. She's got her tag, done nothing. And so I already know she looks awesome though. So let's get her on. Definitely no box hair issues on this one. Now, of course, this is a brand new style, and she's probably only been in her box for less than a week. My guess is, I mean, they're literally hot off the press. But now, it's always super thrilling when you get a wig out of the box and you put it on and you say, I could wear this, like right now. I could just take the tag off, run a comb through it, walk out the door. So lovely when that happens, but it doesn't always. But because I promised to do the out of the box whenever I can, this was your out of the box. Not a lot of intervention needed, but I will just add for you guys, you know, just a little combing. I will just add one kind of comment. Oh my gosh, it just went straight out of my head. I was going to say something. Oh, you know how you're always recommended, I don't edit these, you guys, so you get all the glory of that blooper, but you know how I have said in the past that you always have to shake a wig out, that, you know, rule number one with a brand new wig is you shake them out. And I have said in the past that typically the super long ones, you don't want to do that. And so this is an example of one that I wouldn't go crazy shaking upside down. She really doesn't have any permatease, so there's not permatease to wake up. But I mean, you could just gently kind of do this if you just sort of want to get these fibers lifted off the cap. But I really wouldn't go crazy shaking a wig of this length out, because you are going to have tangles like you would not believe, and you're not going to want to do that. So I definitely do not recommend vigorous shaking of a long style like this. Yeah, she has a little bit of tangles. I can tell though, this one's gonna need the help of a wide tooth comb for sure. Like on your person all the time when you're wearing it. But that's the case with long wigs anyway. So anyway, so that was the out of the box. Really great right out of the box. And I anticipate, even as this style, you know, gets older and, you know, the odds of them living in the box are greater, I don't think this one's ever going to be a terrible box hair if it was packed properly, because there's no real permatease. Permatease is a huge contributor to box hair because it gets super compacted. It's sort of like cotton balls in a big package. If you kind of open up that package, or you try to stick the cotton balls in another container, you need a bigger container than the package that it came in, because they're compacted on each other, and when you take them out, they expand. Similar thing with permatease, and so the more permatease, the more odds are of box hair. This one really doesn't have any, so she doesn't have curls to get all box haired or permatease, so I think this one's never really going to have a tremendous problem with that. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around for this part. I'll talk to you soon.